Struggling to get by, college student Stephen Wilson discovers a job opportunity as a caretaker to a middle-aged man, Edward Dawson. Mr. Dawson is an author, an eccentric man, leading an eccentric life. Living at the far end of town in a secluded bungalow in the forest. He is easily agitated and very secretive, and has a set of strict rules and tasks he requires to be completed every day. However, being offered a high salary, Stephen can't deny the job. In all this, Stephen meets, becomes very close, and falls in love with a beautiful young woman named Evelyn, who lives in the small town near the forest. But one day, she suddenly goes missing. And then, Stephen discovers Mr. Dawson is no more. How did this happen? Stephen stared at the corpse in horror. But suddenly, he heard a noise behind him. He turned to see someone. Who's there? As she stepped into the room, Stephen realized it was Evelyn. Evelyn? What are you doing here? It's not what it seems. It wasn't my fault. I didn't do it. Evelyn looked so calm and composed as she walked up to him. It's okay, Stephen. Calm down. Everything's going to be fine. What do you mean? Edward Dawson belonged to a noble family in Norway. It was years ago. He and 3 of his friends had come out to these forests for hunting. The 4 men camped out in the forest, and everything was going fine. Until one night, one of them went missing. The men were horrified to discover his body in the woods in a horrible condition. Could have done something like this. It seems like something imbibed his soul. He had his rifle with him. Why didn't he shoot? Whatever it is, we have to be careful. The men buried the remains of their friend. And for the next few days, the 3 friends searched the forest, but couldn't figure what happened with him. What could have killed Martin like that? He was strong, a better marksman than all of us. Why would he put down his rifle? Was it even an animal? What do you mean? Something supernatural? Whatever it was, let's leave. Why are we still here? Not until we hunt it down and take revenge for our friend. Is someone listening to us? Someone, something is watching us. The friends remained vigilant of their surroundings, but one by one, they went missing. Sebastian! Sebastian! Do you think he drowned? No. He must be around here somewhere. Why would he leave his rifle just like Martin? Get a hold of yourself, Ben. We'll find Sebastian. I told you it's not a good idea for us to stay here any longer. We wanted to take revenge, and now we've lost Sebastian. The only mistake we made was separating from each other. From now on, we'll watch each other's back. The next morning, Edward discovered a note left behind by Ben. Edward, I'm leaving. I can't be part of this. I wish you success. Assuming Ben went back to the city, Edward kept on searching for Sebastian, but then discovered his horse. Ben's horse? Edward was devastated. He didn't know what he was going to say upon return, but now he knew he had to get out of here. But it was in all this he happened to meet Evelyn. Don't shoot. What are you doing out here? These woods aren't safe. It's all right. I live here, and I know my way around. Besides, I have him. But what are you doing out here? I'd come out here to hunt with my friends. One of them is dead, and two of them missing. That's horrible. When was the last time you ate or slept? You must be tired. Come with me. Edward was surprised to see Evelyn lived in a small cave with her dog. You can bathe in the lake. It's safe. Nothing to worry about. As Edward bathed in the lake beside the cave, Evelyn picked some roots, vegetables, pumpkin, and herbs, and cooked a soup for them. How is it that you live in these woods alone? I don't have a choice. My mother was banished for falling in love with a foreigner. Nobody knew where he came from. Nobody knew who he was, and one day he disappeared, leaving me and a few gold coins with her. And with disgrace and shame, my mother left the society and moved to live in this isolation. For some reason, long, they became intimate, and Edward became addicted to her. "Come with me, back to town. Why are you living out here?" "No, Edward. This is my home. If you want me, you have to come live out here." In his love for Evelyn, Edward, against his family's wish, moved to these forests and built a house and settled here. And every night, Evelyn would come and visit him. But as Edward began living out in these woods all by himself, his health began to deteriorate. He noticed every day he was losing more weight. He was becoming more aged. His hair was turning gray. And for some reason, every time he was intimate with Evelyn, he felt the weakest, as if his soul was slowly getting imbibed. Edward couldn't understand why it was happening with him, until one evening, he went to visit Evelyn at her cave. "Please, it's not a human." Edward was horrified discovering the truth. All of a sudden, he realized it was Evelyn who had caused the death of his friends. And now she had latched onto him. Edward decided never to be with Evelyn again. He decided to leave this cursed place. But as the night drew near, a strange anxiety possessed him, and he had to return. And no matter how much he tried to resist, every time it was night, and Evelyn came close to him, he couldn't resist. His health was deteriorating very fast. He had to do something. He didn't have much left of himself. He wouldn't live long. Helplessly, he wrote a letter to Father Victor, the immortal man about whom he heard before, explaining his situation and requesting to find a way for him. Upon receiving his letter, Father Victor wrote back and sent him a few books. Edward did extensive research on his sickness and stranger women, supernatural beings, fairies, warlocks, and realized he's a succubus. She has imprinted on me. If I leave her, I won't live. And if I be with her, I won't live long. What do I do? First, Edward had to free himself from this bondage of attraction. He had to sacrifice one of his eyes. And then, with his blood, he marked the boundaries of his home. And banished Evelyn from entering its realms. But although Edward could no longer be harmed by her, he was bound here himself, never able to leave. Every night, he would notice Evelyn walking around the house, waiting for her chance to get near him. Searching for a way to relieve himself from this bondage, Edward discovered if he could get Evelyn to imprint on someone else, he could be free. That's when Edward set up the advertisement and found his bait. And sure enough, Evelyn got her eyes on him. But Evelyn wasn't finished with Edward. She wanted revenge for banishing her. And when she was able to make her way into the house with Stephen's help, she took Edward's life. What are you going to do with me? Haven't you realized what happened? Now you are the prince of this palace.
Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.